Hey guys, so I'm here at the SNR sale. This is one of my wife's. I don't know, she always loves going here every time there's sales like this. This is where she does her technical and fundamental analysis naman. No? So for this video, allow me to talk about Puregold, Costco, the companies that are highly connected to the Lucico group of companies. So check this video out. Hi everyone, this is Marvin Germo. If you're new to this channel, subscribe, smash that bell so you get updated every time I create new content about the stock market. Stay till the end as well so you see who our subscriber of the day is. As you all know guys, the Philippines is a consumption-driven economy that's a style now for those who want to be more passive. Just find out where the economy is headed. And as we're finding out where the economy is headed, look at stocks who will take advantage or companies that will take advantage of where it's headed, like in this instance consumption driven. So companies that are highly connected to groceries, supermarkets, department stores, anything where OFWs, BPOs will pump their money into, I think will do very, very well. And for those who have been in the Philippines for quite some time, the SNR sales, a lot of people flock to them because you get a lot of imported items that are cheap. But not just cheap, you get to buy them in bulk as well. So for those who don't get to go out of the country often, this is an area where they could buy a lot of those imported items on a cheaper price and a cheaper scale as well. And this could be a tip for a lot of people. Now, I've been mentioning arbitrages from selling online. One of the tips that you can have from all of this is look for an item that's heavily on sale in SNR or Landers, sell them online, and you can make money off of that as well. So there, for this video, I'm gonna analyze companies that are under Lucico that are listed, Puregold and Costco. I'll try to input also some fundamental aspects into it while I'm going through the stock, but primarily this will be based on technical analysis, what the charts are saying. So if you are an owner of Puregold or you are an owner of Costco, either for trading or investing, just comment below. Just comment also if you have a narrative and a plan for the stock based on the videos that we're creating, because the end of all of these videos really is just to give you as much content and as much value as possible so that you can trade and win in the markets as well. Hey guys, welcome to another edition of our Stocks by Request. As you all know, this is triggered by me experiencing SNR sales shopping with my wife. And as you all know, similar to what I posted over Facebook, my wife has her own parameters on selecting and picking which stocks are interesting for her. When I say stocks, I mean SNR products, but her goal, her narrative basically is based on valuations, basically based on which is cheap, which is lower, which are the ones that give her a greater potential upside. But from my wife's shopping techniques, we can get a lot of principles there as well, especially if you'd want to be a person who'd make money buying low, selling high as well, because the name of the game still is when you're trading the markets, it's all about buy low, sell high. So if you're new to this is our Stocks by Request session. This is me analyzing charts based on technical analysis though, which I'll try to input also snippets on what I believe Puregold is, or even what Costco is as well. But our analysis here will be pretty much predicated on what the charts are telling us, because I really believe this. Everything you need to know is found in the charts. And by the way, before I begin, here's where the PSEI is as of this point in time. If you notice it, it's still moving sideways, it's still consolidating, it's not really going anywhere. If I draw a resistance here, I could put one here, then I could put another support line somewhere around here. So from a shorter perspective, this is how it's oscillating, this is how it's primarily moving for the short term. That being said, that's why there's a lot of excitement for the IPOs that we've been having, because since the market is not going anywhere, there's really not much of a very, very strong catalyst. It's the IPOs that are creating some sort of a narrative of where the possible, I guess, where funds will possibly go. So I've created so many videos about it because that's what you guys want, and the goal and the heart of this channel is just to give you as much value as possible. So the technique is when the PSEI is sideways, the next narrative, the next goal basically is this: find stocks that are moving contrary to the PSEI. When I say contrary, find stocks that are either trending up, moving up, or in the same way if they're moving sideways, exercise patience, wait for them to hit the support. As they hit the support, put as much as you can, then sell at the resistance. And when I say resistance, it will depend on you, on what your resistance is, how you plot it. You have to remember, technical analysis is not just a science, it's also an art. You need to know where to plot it, and plotting it also is based on your set criteria of how risky you want to be as well in a particular trade. Now let's go to Puregold. I mentioned this at the start of the video that Puregold is pretty much connected to our consumption-driven economy, that Puregold on the macro should do well over the long term because they're continually expanding, and they're expanding on the base on where Filipinos are spending on, and that could be a technique for years to come. So before I show you, this is the chart of Puregold from October last year to where we are today. But above and beyond that, let me just zoom out first so you have greater context of where Puregold is. So if you notice it, this was Puregold's very, very large push upward. No, you have to remember, once a large pushes upward, possible narrative already is that it could move sideways already for a specific period of time. And if you notice, Puregold is pretty much also moving sideways already after it made some great strides and movements upward as well. So the next thing that I'd like to discuss in this video naman is from a 1-year period, you know that the support for Puregold is around the 39 level. If you notice it also, and let me zoom out again, it started to become a support since 2016 because of this particular areas. And if you notice, my narrative every time I analyze stocks is basically this. I just look for areas where there's strong amounts of buying, and that becomes my support level. As it becomes my support level, it allows me to trade the markets with confidence. Everything I need to know is found in the charts. Everything I need to know is found on what the technicals are telling me as well. So what do we know as well? Let's zoom in further. What we do know though from a shorter perspective is this. You have another resistance here, which is around the 50 peso level. Then you have another resistance here, which is relatively shorter. How do I find this resistance? It's this, based on the 46.3 level. Then it happened again here. Now, for those who've attended our Stock Smart sessions and know how to read moving averages, you will notice somewhere around August, it started to break down all of those moving averages. For those who know our cluster, our convergence, our Kumpol principle, why the stock is moving massively bearish because of the breakdowns of all of those moving averages that started around this period. And this predates and gives you a stronger sense that there's still a lot of selling involved as well. Another thing I'll add is this. If you draw support here, the movement downward also is pretty much based on this. You have a very, 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 very large candle. And also, if you add this as well, MACD supporting everything that I'm talking about. So possible narrative, possible movement for Puregold is basically this. If the stock continues selling, it's right here right now, but if it continues selling, the key support level will be around the 39.5 level. If it bounces, possible short-term move will bring it to the 44 level. However, if that level does not hold, possible drop, you have to remember, every time support is broken, it will just look for the next possible area where it could possibly retrace. While that is happening, possible movement downward, if it fails to hold the 39.5 level, it could possibly bring Puregold to the 34.9 level for the short term. So your style, your narrative basically is this. Just look at what the charts are saying and then base everything from that. Please don't get me wrong. Puregold is an amazing company. Puregold is right smack in the middle of the macro. Puregold, from an income standpoint, is doing well, growing aggressively, growing in double digits. For those who attended our Stock Smart sessions, last week, you would have known that Puregold is pretty much undervalued based on the growth rate that it has as well. Even if you're very, very conservative, you would still see that Puregold is pretty much undervalued as of this point in time. For those, by the way, who want to know more about that, I'll be having sessions on how you can compute the target price of a stock this October in Qatar. Next week na pala. I'll be in Qatar next week, then Cebu also in October, then Singapore on November, then Stock Smarts Manila this December. So basically, from a position trading standpoint also, I mentioned to you earlier about how it is moving from a quick trading standpoint. From a position trading standpoint, if you notice it, there's all of the parameters are saying it's bearish. All of the parameters are telling us not to go in yet as of this point in time, because the name of the game, if you are a position trader, is to buy when reversals are happening. So from a position trading standpoint, it's not yet there, it's not yet visible. So your goal is to stay away until the charts are telling you that it's time to come in because a reversal is there. Now let's look at Costco, another company, part of their group of companies. If you notice it, it's also sideways. If I put the support and resistance there, this is the main narrative. And another thing that I'd like to point out is, look at this 200-day moving average, which is pretty much blocking it. And if you notice, all of those moving averages are all flat, confirming our sideways motion. And it's also confirmed by the MACD, which is also pretty much flat as well. And if I zoom out, boom! If I zoom out, if you notice it's in a longer and longer sideways market as well. I'll try to zoom out even more. If you notice it, it's in a very long sideways trend. So the name of the game here, for those who attended our Stock Smart sessions, you know the technique when the market is sideways, you know the narrative, you know how supports will normally act. So you just trade according to that. You trade according to the narrative of what the trend is. You have to remember the trend is the strongest type of form of analysis that will give you a larger and stronger conviction every time you see buy signals. So I actually like sideways markets because it gives, you have to remember this, during sideways markets, there's lesser emotion because probably there are people who made money and already took profits. Also during sideways markets, hype is already gone. Probably also in sideways markets, there are people who bought high na medyo ipit and are not selling also. That's why the stock is not pushing higher anymore. But because they believe that the fundamentals is good, that they're still willing to hold on to it, even if it takes a longer period of time. So I love it because it's nice to trade sideways markets, especially if you know what you're doing, especially if you have a plan and a narrative on how you can win and trade the market. So as what I mentioned also at the start of the video, I wanna feature also 3 more consumption stocks that are pretty much connected to Puregold as well in terms of the business model. So let's start with MRSGI first. MRSGI, similar. If you notice it, it's also moving sideways. That's why we're saying that the index is also pretty much sideways, because a lot of the stocks in the market in general is following suit as well. Though indicators, position trading indicators, and also chart overlays are saying that the stock is still pretty much bearish as well. It's still not showing us a reversal yet. So one key thing that would be so interesting though is this. For those who attended our sessions and you know what a rounding bottom is, there will come a point in time where buying will just continue to emerge here at the 2.36 level. Then as it continues to emerge in the 2.36 level, there's no more buyers willing to buy. There's no more sellers at the 2.36, 2.4, 2.5 level. It starts to go up. As it starts to go up, it will break several resistances from this 2.7, 2.8, all the way to the 3 level, all the way to 3.5, all the way up to the 3.25 level, and now you have a very large rounding bottom. So the narrative with that though is this. For me, I'm not a fan of chart patterns. I'm not a fan. I don't speculate. I don't forecast. So for me, if it does not break the 3.5 level, sell, take profits. Please remember this. If it does not break the 3.5 level, sell, take profits. And if you notice it, MRSGI hasn't gone up that level since January 2018, meaning it's almost 2 years. 3.5 is proving itself to be a very strong resistance. And if you notice it also at this point in time already, at April this year, the stock was pretty much bullish already, and a lot of the indicators were showing you that it was already bullish. However, that being said, it was a very strong resistance. And if you notice now, my style, and I've been very consistent about this, there's so many ways on how you can analyze support and resistance. There's so many ways on how you can analyze sell signals and areas that you could target. But my style has been consistent. You have to remember the way you draw it is based on what your biases are and what you've learned at the start. And one of the first things that I've learned pretty much is still drawing my own support and resistance. So that's why every time I analyze, I just use support and resistance. But anyways, if it breaks past 3.5, possible target will be the 4.25 level as well. So let's see if the rounding bottom will happen, if it actually will follow suit. But if it does not follow suit, sell at 3.5, take profits there. If it breaks out of 3.5, your next possible narrative, your next possible area for you to be able to set a target price will be at the 4.25 level. And don't worry, I'm just gonna continue to make videos like this as often as I can to give you an educate. And I hope while I'm doing this, your charts are open also, because I'm not a big fan of spoon feeding. I'm not a big fan of giving people fish. I like to teach people how to create their own fish, because if you can create your own fish, you can earn on your own. And please remember, these are not stock picks. I hope that you guys are learning from this, because I want you to replicate this, because that's where the strength is. You make money when you know what you're doing in the markets. You make money when you have a firm conviction of that you know what your style is in the markets. Because if you know what your style is in the markets, no one can take that away from you. And I love sharing ideas about the stock market, but please, at the end of the day, you have to decide this on your own. You have to trade with conviction, and you just use whatever is said as a reference point, because that's and I'll keep on doing this now, because I love doing this as well. So for you guys who find this a bit helpful, comment below as well. Comment buy, comment technicals, comment price is king, comment anything else that you want to comment. But if you want other topics that we want us to discuss, also put them down. Let's look at SSI naman. So, sige, I'll try to do this naman without putting any other indicators. I'm just gonna formulate this based on what the candlesticks are showing. So, there's one thing that's evident already. There's buying here. How do I know that? Large red candle, boom, then it dropped, but it never went any lower. Close at this level, it means that there's buying. Second evidence is this, boom, you see this? There's a large green candle pushing it higher. Then if you want more evidence, again, technical analysis, past prices plotted into charts, this is another evidence that there's a support here at this level. If I want another evidence here, the breakout started here. As the breakout started here, we have to remember, when a stock breaks past the resistance, it now becomes the new support level. So that's enough for me. That's enough evidence for me to say that, hey, there's a level of buying here. That's where my support will be. Then general trend, general resistance is there's a target at 3.65. So possible narrative, if it continues to bounce, 2.6, target price is 3.65. This is a 37% upside for those who are willing to wait. You have to remember, larger swings, larger upsides, but the time before it hits those areas are relatively longer. The longer the wait, the larger the gain. The longer the wait, the larger the possibility for you to earn more. Please remember, it's a misconception that you can only earn on the market if you're trading intraday. That's not true. There's so many ways to earn on the market, and you can, and that's why we do the Stock Smart sessions, so that you can fit it. No, you can make it fit to what your style is and what your narrative is, because that's how you win. You don't have to copy other people's styles. You do your own strategy. You do what works for you. You do what works for you best. So if you are an investor and you see your stock down, the name of the game is you keep on buying as long as you know the fundamentals is intact, and as long as you know the valuations are there. But if you are a trader, you respect the charts very well. By the way, for those who are trading shorter durations, I'll place the resistance here. Your target price should be around the 3 peso level. So this is around let me fix this. This is around trying to plot it properly. This is around a 9.8% gain. So notice it, shorter durations, shorter gains, shorter durations, shorter ability for you to get percentage-wise gains as well. But if you notice it also, if you trade properly and then you exercise patience, buying at 2.6 will give you an upside of around 30+%. So what's nice and what's interesting about this, it's nice to see a lot of attendees who have larger portfolios already, and they just exercise patience, wait for it, and as they wait and exercise patience, they see their portfolio start to go up and push up and move higher. And that's how you make money in the markets. You make money not by monitoring, but you make money by allocating and using a strategy that works for you. You make money by doing what works. You make money by just following your plan, and that's how it's done. Lastly, RRHI. Similar thing. I'm not gonna use MACD or moving averages, because everything you need to know can be found here already. So to make it super simple, this is my support and resistance for it. I have a resistance at 80.5. If it fails to break out from the 80.5, those who bought at 75, take profit, sell, take profit, sell, take profit, sell. Breakout from 80, target price 88. Failure to break 80 goes down to 75. Failure to hold 75, it goes to the 67 level. So everything I said will just be based on this. It fails to hold this one will just drop here. Fails to hold that, then you will see a possible movement, boom. there down. If it bounces though, it will attack the 80 level. As it tries to attack the 80 level, the 80 level now becomes the new possible resistance. As it attacks it, should it break out, hold. If it fails to break out, main narrative is just to, if it fails to break out, main narrative is to sell, take profits. That would have given you somehow, no, some way, at least a 7.4% profit. Breaks out from that level, target price is around 88.9 or around 89 pesos as well. So I hope that you get to segment your trades based on this. I hope that you get to segment your trades based on what is here. So based on what we've talked about, what do you like more? RHI, SSI, MRSGI, P-Gold, Costco, and also the index as well. If this is something that's helping you, would appreciate it. Also, if you can share this to your friends, put a thumbs up, put a comment, put a like, because I'll just keep on doing this because this is amazing. And by the way, to those who have businesses that are listening to this, to those who are employed, you have to remember, not everyone will have a passion for the stock market. But if you're passionate about your business, double down on your business, put a lot of time and effort in your business, but build assets, invest in the stock market, and make the stock market slave and work hard for you. In the same way, if you love your job, you love your corporate work, don't quit, don't resign. There's so much talk about quitting your job, and that's the only way to get rich. But here's the thing: happiness is key. Happiness is the most important thing. If you love your job, you're happy. Nothing is better than waking up every morning, loving what you do, loving, enjoying every moment of it. And I've created a video about that you only live once, you have to make it count. So if you love your job, don't quit, but invest massively in the stock market, because the name of the game still is multiple sources of income. So if you have real estate, you have stocks, and you have your job, you're gonna do well. I'll tell you this: you don't have to quit your job as long as you know how to milk your job very well, you know how to save very well, and you know how to allocate that into something that will generate income for you as well. So that if you're enjoying it, you're not in your job just because you need to, you're in your job because you want to, and you're having a good time as well. So I hope you guys learned a lot from this video. Comment below if this is something that helped you. Comment below also if you're just liking the format where I present and talk a lot about the charts as well, to give you as much info as possible so you can trade and win in the markets as well. For those who want to learn more of how my style, my technique, my strategy, and how I trade the markets, the links are down below for the books that I've written. You can order them via Shopee, or for those who want to join us for our live training events, my next session will be next week already in Qatar. Then I'll be in Malaysia, by the way, second week of October. And after that, I'll have Stock Smarts in Cebu by the last week of October. Then November, we will have Singapore. Then lastly, December this year, we will end it with Stock Smarts Manila. So I guess that's it for now. Are you done? Kota na? Kota na yung wife book for the day. I hope this video helps you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. Bye-bye, everyone.